Mr. Karadontis. Edward comes from some absolutely brilliant history. My favorite Edward story is last year 2012, we did a single-handed race, the VRC Anything Goes single-handed race. On that race, I cannot believe this, 7 boats ran aground. The only person that I know of that actually managed to run aground and apparently sailed off of the sandbar is this man right here, who's Ed Karadontis. This year will be his 23rd Southern Straits race.
Alright!
So, I bow to your knowledge, sir. Please inform me.
Come on, don't, brother.
How's everybody doing? Can you hear me in the back? Okay, so how many people here think fast is fun? Me! Okay, so you all got 40-footers or sport boats and all. 1:31! Okay, so my philosophy is fun is fast. I've done like 23 of these things. This will be like the 12th one in my boat. It's a little 25-footer, 4'6" headroom. So if you want to live under your table, you get an idea what it's like inside. That's naval. Put 5 people in gear on there, so it's like, okay. That's naval room, not headroom. So one of the things we've done, I've done a whole bunch before. We did my boat, a couple of light air races, and then 1999. Had the crew together, we went out, had a great sail. We were coming back in about 8 knots of breeze off southern Bowen Island, heading to T10. Had the kite up. It's nice, couple of guys down sleeping, and that sort of thing. And bang, 35 knots of breeze. Wrapped the kite around the forestay. We had 2 guys, about 200-pounders, go up there. That's the last of my kite, okay? They went
like negligee or something.
They chopped it down, still doing 6.5 knots and a 25-footer with just the mainsail. Okay, so I mean, 2 guys, 200 pounds, couldn't get this thing. It took a half an hour for them to get the knot off the forestay. We got down to T10, the wind had blown through. So would your spinnaker? Didn't need it. There's no wind. Got caught in the big seas. People were cold. People were tired. The boat hadn't been really set up. My wife Jane, she hadn't gone down. She was getting tired. She was getting cold, but she was waiting for William to go down. William never goes down because he gets sick down there. So miscommunication, the whole thing. People are cold. People are hurt. People are tired. We retired from the race. And we said, that really sucked. I hate retiring. So what we did is we sat down and we stood there and we said, what can make this work? What can make this fun? What can make this thing? So we sat down and we said, okay, what didn't work? The bunks weren't made up. So when people would go down, they'd lie on the bunks in their wet gear, get cold, get miserable, deteriorate, and they're out of the game. So we said, okay, bunks have to be made up. So it's the sleeping pad, the sleeping bag. Now, in a 25-foot boat, it's a pipe burst. You're going to get wet. So what I found was, you can get these little Mylar bags. They're already pre-taped. They keep the heat in, they keep the water out. They cost about $3.
And the aliens from reading your brain.
And I mean, the last one right now.
Where do you get them, Ed?
I got this one, I think, at Taiga. You can probably get it at any of the shops along Broadway.
Yeah.
Mountain Equipment Co-op? Yeah. Yep, they probably have them. I haven't checked, but I mean, for $3, they're warm and dry.
You put your sleeping bag in there?
Yep, slide the sleeping bag in there. You crawl in there.
And throw it on the Barbie.
Put a little garlic, some butter.
The only drawback, they don't breathe. So you will get a little bit of sweat buildup.
Also, you don't be the last one in, is what you're saying. If you want the first 2.
Yeah, so, but that worked. I mean, it was just like, nice. The other thing that we came up with, the hot water bottle.
Nice.
couple of these going.
Shop, man, new school.
Where do you buy those?
Actually, we got pretty much lighter. You get a couple of these going. Whoever's coming up on watch, put the stove on.
Yeah.
Make the coffee for the crew. They get the rest of the hot water and they crawl in their sleeping bag. In that,
Yeah.
You're nice and toasty.
Yeah. Simple.
The other thing, gear. Everybody's sitting there. How many guys have been in race boats where if you have a bag bigger than this that weighs more than 6 ounces, you're not allowed on the boat?
That's like the sea weasel, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it is now.
I tell my crew,
I didn't know it was
you're not getting on board unless you have a complete change of gear from your underwear to outer gear, your wet weather gear. When you go down for a kip and it's wet and stuff like that, you change completely. I want you warm, I want you dry, I want you in the game, I want you well rested. None of this going down and doing that. What else I got here?
Who gets the
Golden Pillow Award on your boat?
Sorry?
Who gets the Golden Pillow Award on your boat?
I had a crew member who, he was a great guy. He's a big bodybuilder. He ate gravel by the handful.
Get a trank dart in the neck. Yeah.
But I tell you,
What did he wash it down with?
I tell you, in under 3 knots of breeze, he could get the boat going 3 knots on the helm. He was just amazing with that.
And over that?
We switched helmets. Okay, so the other thing I came up with, where's my...
Just poke to the right.
To the right?
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise you get my...
Okay, so one of the things I came up with, because Southern Straits, everybody knows, that's your boat maintenance project for the year.
Yeah.
Before Straits, you're up 24 hours a day for the week, getting all your safety gear, all your other gear, the boat clean, boat prep, then you go do the race. So what I came up with is like, let's build a nav package. So, a nav package. You get all these very little sponsorship bags. You might as well fill them.
North sails here? We need those. North sails?
So I got the charts. I know I'm going to need my binoculars, the dividers, the rules, whatever, current Alice tables, rating certificate, insurance certificate, cruise sheet, and everything else. So what I did for that, I built a binder. And this is great too for safety inspection and for your crew. So one of the things here we did is put the course on here. So here's all your marks, your positions, which way you leave them, do you check in, you write down when the time rounded. I also added a sail list. So okay, here's all the sails on board.
Main. Heavy. None.
Yeah, I have to carry 2 mains so they don't have a reefing one, so I need a reefable main. Which bag color they're in, and the wind range. Okay, so you got that.
Are you putting your waypoints in your GPS miles ahead of time, or are you doing it as you're racing?
No, they're all ahead of time. I actually have the second sheet. I didn't actually get in there, but it actually shows the courses with the distance and the magnetic bearings. I have my race waypoints. I have the light characteristics for sailing at night. They're listed. And I have the waypoint numbers. I also have a separate chart for tides and currents for Point Atkinson, First Narrows, and that sort of thing.
Wow.
Which is actually gets posted on the bulkhead and in addition to the binder. One of the things I found important, put your name of your vessel and your sail number on there. Because if anybody's got to grab the radio in an emergency, there's the vessel name, the sail number, the whole works. So that's posted. Everybody can read it. Here I got Weasel retired 1900 last year.
Roughly.
That was actually about 6 minutes after we ran out of...
Yeah.
Hey, what did Thursday's child finish on that one?
You're not my vision. Yeah, so what else I got in here? What else we got?
I got all your stuff.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we got a domestic package. Okay, so how many guys we got in sailing or cruising and they go, I have no cutlery, I got no bowls.
No propane.
If there's something you have all
There you go. How many plates? How many mugs? Of course, is important. One of the rules on my boat is we have wine with dinner.
We're
That's
civilized.
mandatory. When I single-handed in 2009, I went down below. I had this empty boat. I couldn't figure it out. I'm looking around. Can't figure out how I put 5 guys in your gear on this boat. But I still have my wine with dinner.
How'd you end up single-handing?
Yeah, Kroger's.
Because my crew disappeared. Yeah, but he makes everything. Here's a good thing. Steamer pot.
Steamer. Oh, like a double.
You want to heat up your stuff? What I do is, one of the things I do is, we take enough food for 5 people for 3 days. And what we do is we got these nice little nesting steamer pots. They got the ventilated bottoms. So I'll boil water in the bottom. I'll put my wraps in that are in foil on all the levels. I've got a third one too.
Those are all ventilated?
They're all ventilated, yep.
Ones?
They all nest nicely so you can heat. When the bottom ones are warm, you take them out, rotate them down, you get nice and food.
You could do dim sum in that if you needed to.
Can I ask a question? Last year we were trying to figure out what to do for food, and there was some trepidation pertaining to 6 guys and chili on a boat. What could be 30 hours.
Now you're breaking
The sheer physics of it all.
Go with your first thought.
Okay, so what I do for food is I sit there and I do a nice, well, one year we went around Bolinas and I went up to the crew on the rail and I sit there, I had the towel over my arm and I asked them if they'd like lamb stew or beef stew and would you like white wine or red wine with that? Because we do that. I eat Southern Straits food for the next 2 weeks.
Do you have any crew openings?
Yeah. So one of the things we did, we discovered in the 1999 race review is people weren't eating. So you have what I try to do is I try to do a meal, a pot of stew, or like a bowl. Bowls are great. But you got to remember to label them, right? So everybody knows who they are, you don't get clean. So I think we had a Baba Boom and a He-Man on board. Okay, so you go. But we do a bowl of stew around 4 in the afternoon. We do another one around 8, 10, 12, 2, whatever. It's on the stove the whole time, just warm it up. Have a bowl. We try and get away from the chocolates, the sugars, because then you're just cycling up and down. If you have a small bit of warm food in you, you're going to last a lot longer. And you can do that anytime it's available. One of the things you don't see on here, which is very important, it's handwritten on my other one, the matches on the leg.
None of this
You
works.
gotta be able to light the stove.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the value of an oven mitt. That's good too. What else do I got here? So yeah, and then the bedding package. Having something like this, it's just nice to be able to go and get it all together instead of reinventing the wheel every year.
So 5 guys, how many crew up, how many crew down, depending on what's going on?
Okay, what we do is, if you're cold, wet, miserable sitting on the rail, go down below and warm up.
What if everyone's cold, wet, miserable?
Hey, what?
You can call everybody up for Mark
My
round.
boat will sail up by itself, so it's okay, we'll all go down below. Generally try and have 2 on deck.
Who's still
Third.
smiling?
A third sort of on call. A 4th sleeping, another 5. Or 4th and 5th sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky that I have a lot of small boat sailors on my boat. And it's small enough that everybody can do every job. So foredeck's never an issue that someone's down below.
What do you do for sail changes and for significant maneuvers? Are you bringing
Like
crew up out of
grounding.
sleep, or are you leaving them below decks and doing it shorthanded?
Depends on the conditions. If it's pretty wild, it's going to get pretty squirrely. You'll probably break up an extra body.
I'm not sleeping anyway.
Probably not.
I'm faking it.
Yeah. The other thing in the binder is
There you go.
okay, so everybody's got their safety safety map, the gear location. So I've got my through hulls listed in red. I've got my first aid kit over here. We keep just a band-aid box. It's basically small injuries. Because instead of tearing apart your big first aid kit that's got everything in it, when all you need is a band-aid, it's faster just to go to a kit with band-aids. So here's everything, you know, engine access, where they keep the hand crank, where the binoculars, nav lights, bilge pumps are, spare anchors. What's in my category 2 bin? I have a bin like this, red lid, and that's where I keep all the harnesses, lights, whistles, whatever, emergency running lights, spotlight, VHF emergency antenna, your handheld VHF radios, air horns, sail repair kits, whatever. One of the things I did do with my emergency antenna, I went to one of the amateur radio shops like Burnaby Radio, and I got adapters from coax to my handheld radio antennas. So I can punch that right into the ship's antenna if that goes down, or I can hoist it up the mast and still run if I lose battery power and I can't run the main ship radio. They cost like $6. It's pretty cool.
We ran out of gain there, and that's a great idea. But how do you do that?
You can get adapters from a PL259, which is your standard coax plug,
Yeah.
to a BNC, which is a twist-on type of antenna on your handheld. On the there's another type that's on the standard horizon. They use a regular screw-in.
Yeah.
You can get an adapter that'll fit on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Burnaby Radio, they're out in Hastings, and
Yeah, I know.
they can set you up with that.
Okay.
And I think it's, I just keep it in the tube with the emergency antenna.
Yeah.
It's there. While I got the radio up, one of the good safety things. Oh, sorry, question? No. I picked up this a couple of years ago for my birthday. It's a standard.
What's your birthday?
It's a Standard Horizon 851. The nice thing about these radios, and there's several other companies that make them now, they have built-in GPS, which gives you DSC capability. So I do a lot of single-handed sailing, short-handed sailing. So it's nice that I can just hit one button and it'll broadcast my position, so they can come find me instead of my boat sailing off if I'm all overboard.
Or find your boat and leave you in the water.
Well, exactly. They're under $300. It's worth it. If you're looking for a handheld, definitely way to go. It comes with a strobe. This one has a glow-in-the-dark gasket, so you can see it. It floats. It's waterproof. Why wouldn't you have one?
Have you registered your boat with the Marine
MMSI?
Yeah.
No.
Then they won't come from you.
They won't come for that. Well, I'm in it. I haven't registered the handheld. My ship's radio is registered.
Yep.
The handheld, since I sail on a bunch of different boats, I want it registered to me. So they don't go looking for a little red boat when I'm sailing on some other boat. That's the reason for that. Some do's and don'ts. This was, I sailing with a friend in 1991. Did a transatlantic crossing with him in '92, and this was his rules on the boat. Have fun. Don't sit on the rail and get cold and wet. You can do that at home. We're here to have fun, right?
Unless you're my crew, then completely disregard the rule.
Number
Thank
two,
you, thank
it's
you.
irrelevant. Don't listen to that. Part of the fun.
Do get involved in all the operations of the boat that you want. Okay? Don't think that you are dispensable. You're not. Any information. You can watch wind shifts. You can watch other boats. Keeping track of boats on the water is tough. So if all your crew can pick a separate boat, go for it. Feed that information back. It's always great. Do help keep the boat clean and organized. Boats are small. They get pretty messy pretty fast. I have a rule on my boat. Actually, on any boat I sail on, if I'm packing the spinnaker, I make a disclaimer. I'm not responsible for lost or launched items. When I pack a kite, it goes in. Which means if it goes up and out, you've lost it. So if you've got gear, make sure it's stowed. Don't get your pants caught with your pants down during a sail change. Goes without saying. Offer suggestions in light of imminent disaster. And yeah, don't say, oh gee, that's too bad, sorry honey, yeah. If things after the disaster. We can win, we have won, we will win again, and have fun. That's why we're doing the race. We're not getting paid. You got it. This is our recreation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the pickle dish is nice, but what we work for. So one thing in the binder, rating certificate, insurance certificate, PIYA certificate, which is signed. So when you go to your safety inspection, they're going to ask you for all this stuff. You go, here's a binder. One of the things I do for the safety inspection is I bring out my category 2 bin and I put it in the cockpit. All my crew are still wearing their life jackets, they're still wearing their harnesses, they're wearing their tethers, their crotch straps. They still have the...
And keep the jack lines on.
The jack lines are kept on the boat. Don't take anything off the boat that is required equipment. Because if it's not rigged, you will fail. Okay? Well, one of the other things I had. Again, harness, built-in crotch strap.
I've got one question for you. We've got to move on relatively quickly, but one question for you. I see you've got your harness and tether there. I asked Trevor on Banana about his opinion, but at what point is it that you are putting your crew in their safety gear? At what point are you saying life jackets, harnesses, tether to your boat, let's go?
Dark.
At dinner time?
Yeah, nighttime.
Yeah. Unless the conditions warrant it ahead of time.
So are you saying, are you putting a cap like 12 knots and over, we're harnessed, we've got our gear on? Are you saying something like that, or?
You know what? There's no reason not to wear a PFD these days. With the self-inflating PFDs, there's no reason not to wear it all the time on a race like that.
Yeah.
In cold water.
I don't wear an inflatable, I wear the body armor, the foam. For two reasons. One, it protects against the lifelines you're always banging into.
And your main sheet trimmer.
And it keeps you warm.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as lights, Trevor showed these lights before, and he mentioned the red. There you go. All I did was take a piece of cellophane, put it inside. Now you have a red light, plus your safety strobe. Okay, the strobe's not working. Oh, there it goes.
And we're on lifeline.
And all that. So that's there. Just quickly, leave ring, DS radio, do some films. Oh, fun. This is the great part. My wife, she doesn't race with us anymore, but we have fun on the boat. She made up these. It's actually a little Ziploc bag full of fortune cookies, but she called them change of fortune cookies. For use in the unusual event that the tides are not turning your way, competitors are not cowering to your greatness, or things just need a general improvement, read each fortune aloud, followed by on Dusty Mauch. Okay, so we've done that. It's also an Easter race. One year I had 3 Easter bunnies on board. I was picking eggs off the boat for months. 2 months after the race, I went up the mast to check the spreaders and stuff like that. There was an Easter egg taped on top of the spreader. Okay, so again, we're doing this for fun. Not life and death, there shouldn't be. Let's go out. And I hope that I can save you from this. This was 2007.
Stare, 100 miles away.
I had missed the tide window at Gabriola, I missed the tide table at TA, I missed the tide table at QA, and we were up about 40 some odd hours.
That's a 1,000-yard stare.
There were only 3 up in this race, but usually, yeah, go down and get some sleep. Anybody can handle the boat. My actual crew says they win the race when I go down, get my sleep, and then I wake up just to take the helm for the finish. So.
What would Ed do? Should we tack?
Yeah. Any questions?
Actually, I will hold to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
okay.
We'll break it up. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.